Time for another edition of Behind the G, our podcast for Red Elephants and by Red Elephants. Thanks for being with us as we pull back the curtain on Gainesville High School athletics. As per usual, introductions are in order. I'm Katie B. Next to me, my Behind the G co-host, Adam Lindsay. And for the next little while, we're going to update you on all things big and red. Speaking of Big Red, make sure you're following us on social media at Go Red Elephants across all platforms. Bookmark our good old website, goredelephants.com. It features all the latest news, photos, roster information you need to stay apprised of what we be doing up in here. Plus, we got links to join the Gainesville Athletic Club right there on the top menu. We've got a link to this podcast. Easy access. That's kind of what we're all about here. In a good way, though. So coming up, a chat with our softball coach, Brad Prestridge. His team currently on a 3-game winning streak that we hope will be extended to 4 by the time you all are listening Friday, as they take on East Hall tonight. That's Thursday night. Before we get there, though, we want to take a little look back on the week that was, as it were. And that, of course, starts with the first football game of the season, Buford and Gainesville. Outcome, not what we wanted.
No.
Because we always want to win.
Well, yeah.
But there were silver linings everywhere.
Well, you know, I go back to a couple of different things. Well, first and foremost, I mean, you can't turn over the ball 6 times and ever expect to win
Correct.
Against a bad team, much less a good team like Buford. But I look at it, at halftime, felt good.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Being down 10-6, 4 turnovers in the first half. And I know that Buford had to be freaking out in their locker room. They didn't walk away from that win feeling good.
No.
They walked out and they said, we're in trouble. We've got to figure some things out. Clearly, we have to figure some things out, too,
Sure.
like how to not turn the ball over, not
Right.
how to, do some things that give away free touchdowns. But I think overly well, I mean, very pleased with the defense.
Yes.
Pretty pleased with the offense. I think there's times where the offense put the defense in a bad spot. Mm-hmm. Defense came through. I have been concerned for a very long time coming into this year as to what our defensive line was going to look like. Thought they'd played great.
Yes, they did.
Give a shout out to my man CJ Terry. I think he
number
was
99.
He was Terrying it up.
Yep.
You can quote me on that. Yeah. That was just for you. The rest of the defense played great. Boom had a great game. Jason
Secondary
Johnson had a play game.
Yep.
Secondary played well. But I was overly impressed with our defensive line. Did not give them a lot of time. I do think, Buford, I'm never going to say like they're easy to prepare for. They do what they do, but you also go into that game knowing that they're going to run the ball. Mm-hmm. And if you get them in a passing situation, they're very uncomfortable with that. And I felt like we definitely tried to do that, and I felt like we definitely did do that for the most part. But I think in the end, when you start looking at the third quarter where we started falling apart, our defense have just been on the field too much.
Yep.
And offense having series where we run 20 seconds off the clock, and then throw the defense back out there after
Right.
3 plays. Then you just put them in a tough spot, and I don't think you can expect them to just turn it, hold them every time that happens. I mean, They did clearly a lot, but I think that game offensively we played well. Not as good as we'd like to see. I did love that one drive, and I guess it was in the third quarter.
90 yards.
90 yards. We
Dink and dunk, baby.
placed the ball. We
Yep.
ran the ball when we needed to, which I think was probably an opportunity for our offense to grow up a little bit, to learn, what they do and what they do well, which, you don't necessarily want to have to learn that against the number 1 team in the country, but, schedule is what it is. It's not going to get any easier for us next week. So it's a good opportunity for us. So I think all in all, again, as we've talked about this a bunch, usually look at your non-region schedule and say, hey, it's just a matter of opportunity for us to learn and get better for region play. This year, it matters.
It does.
It does matter with the PSR, but now we become huge Buford fans and want them to win out, and that helps their winning percentage, and which ultimately helps us and makes the loss not as heavy as it is.
Yeah. From my standpoint, and I stand with absolutely everything you said. You look a lot on social media in the aftermath of that game, and the word "dominated" popped up more times than it should have. And it made me wonder if those people actually watched the game or saw the final score, because in actuality, the final score not reflective of how dominant we were, and you don't give up, to your point, touchdowns where you could be giving up 2 points.
Correct.
There are going to be snafus that happen. They're going to be in game one. It doesn't matter who you are. They're going to be snafus. But we had some special teams mistakes that led to 12 points for them, but 14 points for them.
Yep.
They didn't miss either extra point, so 14 points for them. You take away those 14 points, what's the score we're looking at? And to your point, offensive line gave Kareem an incredible amount of time to throw.
Yep.
But maybe we don't need to be taking that much time because nobody was open.
Yeah.
And listen, on the flip side, nobody was open for them either when they needed that.
Yep.
But there was so much good. I would rather be frustrated that we lost because it meant we had a chance to win.
Yep.
When you think about Gainesville's history with Buford, with the exception of one game, they haven't had a chance to win.
Yeah.
I would rather be frustrated with our performance, knowing that if we had minded our P's and Q's in a couple of other areas, we would have won the game. Wouldn't that have been something?
Yep.
Then, to walk away kind of shrugging and going, well, we still don't know what we have, and only looking for silver linings. Like, there's room to be disappointed, which is heartening to me, if that makes sense.
Well, and I mean, when you look at that game, it very easily could have been 14-3, 21-3 us at halftime.
Yes.
And then Buford's going in, throwing out what they want to do.
Right.
And putting themselves in a bad situation, which was exactly what we were trying to put them into. Just those turnovers in the first half, put us in a situation where we couldn't put it away in the first half. Which again, we had our opportunities in the second half, and we just, continued to make mistakes, season mistakes.
I do think third quarter defense just ran out of gas because they'd been there. Yeah. They've been there so much. But again, I go back to anybody who actually watched that game should be pretty scared of the Red Elephants coming to town.
I've had plenty of Buford people call me and say, like, man, we thought after that first half, we thought y'all were getting ready to kill us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, I think, again, at the end of the day, there's a ton of respect for their program.
Yep.
I think there's a ton of respect from them for us, which is fun. And again, I think, we have to continue playing them.
No doubt.
We have to continue playing competition like that and improve and get ourselves in the right place for the end of the season.
Yep. Super proud of our guys, though, and the way we showed up. Incredibly proud of our community and the way it showed up.
Yeah, that crowd was packed.
The crowd was incredible. Nate Mathis, who runs our strength and conditioning program, obviously an assistant on the football staff as well, sat in my office yesterday and said, I've never played in front of, coached in front of a crowd that large. He said he took a moment at one point during the game to kind of look around and be awed by something you should have been awed by. I mean, obviously Buford brought it, their crowd, but to see Gainesville show up the way that they did, it was impressive.
It was funny because I think it was maybe 15 minutes before the game started, and you looked on both sides, and the center sections were full, but the ends were not. And I was like, man, I can't believe, I'm really surprised. This place isn't packed yet. What I didn't realize, everybody was getting a drink.
Yeah. And it had taken them 4 hours.
Yeah. And by kickoff, when you look, there was not an empty seat in the house.
No.
So it was funny because Tony Wolf, Gainesville grad, AD over there at Buford, the guy who really runs everything over there.
Yeah. I'll let Dexter Wood know you said that.
It's okay. Tony walked by me in the middle of the first quarter, and he's like, "Are you looking forward to hosting this over at Gainesville next year?" I said, "Yeah, buddy. I promise you, we'll handle it a whole lot better than you look." And I'm glad you brought this up. Not that you brought anything up, because I'm getting ready to. We had the whole conversation last week, the week before, about the Buford Stadium.
Correct.
And I made a statement that I thought they had the nicest stadium in the state, and I want to walk that one back.
Okay.
Yeah, and you didn't like that, and I do want to walk it back, and I will say, very, very nice stadium.
Holy cow, yes,
nicer than a lot of Division I programs. I think it rivals Georgia Southern. Certainly nicer than Kennesaw State.
Yep. Nicer than where Georgia State's playing.
Well, I would say nicer than where Georgia State plays, even though it's an old baseball park. But it has no character. There's no character whatsoever.
Yeah.
And to your point, what you were the point you were making, and I was arguing against you. City Park is just better. I love and look forward to getting back to City Park. Buford's field is beautiful. They spent a ton of money on it, but I'll take City Park any day of the week.
Yeah, the ghosts that exist on Bobby Gruen Field in City Park, I'll go up against any stadium with those ghosts. There's just something. There's an aura there that whether we had the bells and whistles or didn't have the bells and whistles, that aura would still exist. That simply you cannot find anywhere else.
Yep.
But again, what a freaking stadium! Like it was beautiful.
I do want to go ahead and let everybody know we will not run out of drinks at the concession stand in the first half on the visitor side. So just go ahead and plan. You'll be able to buy drinks when you come to Bobby Gruen Field
in a timely and efficient fashion.
Yeah.
Timely and efficient fashion. Thanks to who? Larry Miller's Gainesville Band, baby.
The architect.
The Big Red Machine. The architect of the Big Red Machine. And to that point, listen, our cheerleaders, our band, boy, they were in that hot sun for a while. The architect of Philip Beard Stadium
did a great job.
Listen to whoever it was that said, no, we want our opponents to have a complete disadvantage because the sun does not go down. Until it is completely dark.
Yeah.
It does not go down on that side of the field. And now, granted, by the time a regular season game would be playing, it's right pleasant. Yeah, but when you're warming up since 3 o'clock and those types of things, we had people falling out left and right. Yeah. But listen, cheer, band, stayed strong. They were a big part of what I thought was an incredible Gainesville crowd.
Well, and whenever we host Buford next year, it'll be a Friday game. It'll be at 7:30 and I don't know, and it may or may not be on ESPN. Probably not, though. I just hate TV games.
They take so long.
Yes.
God, even the white hat fell out at one point. I mean, just people
that's
dropping.
When you know you got problems.
Just people dropping left and right. But anyway, to our community, thank you for doing what you do, showing up and showing out. To our football team, my God, we can't wait to see what we put on the field at East St. Louis next week because I think everybody, again, the disappointment you felt in the aftermath of the Buford game was good because it meant we're right there. Yep. It meant we had a chance to win. So anyway, kudos to them. Have you seen, we both get the AJC's Gainesville High School Football Daily.
Yeah.
We get it. When do we get it? Daily. We get that. Today they put out an all-century team. Now, this is going to point to how old we are. But when somebody says all-century, like I'm stuck in the 1900s, right?
Yeah.
But it's all-century meaning starting in 2000. Which kind of blows my mind, right? Yeah. So an all-century team. Not that I expected a Gainesville player to be on it. No Gainesville players on it. It is ripe with Grayson. It is ripe with Carrollton. Trevor Lawrence is actually the all-time quarterback, as it were. Westover, Savannah, Christian, Jefferson, Sammy Brown.
Interesting.
Is the what they deem the best linebacker in the state in the last 26 years.
Interesting. Jeremiah Thielander.
No, Jeremiah. What?
I know.
Even if they labeled him for North Hall, I'd be like, let's go.
Yeah.
But so you got Trevor Lawrence at Cartersville. Isaiah Crowell from Carver Columbus is the best running back in the last century.
I remember watching him play.
I
remember watching that some of his playoff games in my parents' basement. Watching that game.
Really? Mm-hmm. So I was
running over folks.
I worked at the Times when he was in Carver when he played for Carver Columbus, and Flowery Branch. Connor Shaw's senior year. They're coming off a state championship appearance. Their senior year.
Back when Flowery Branch was worth watching.
Oh, my gosh. They're so good. They went on the road. They had to play Carver Columbus. I want to say... No, that wasn't who that... No. That was... But they had to play Carver Columbus on the road. Mm-hmm. And Shaw's senior year, it was a hope and a prayer that they even got into the playoffs. I think they had a last-second... They had to hit a last-second... it was a last-second touchdown against, I want to say, like Lanier or Chattahoochee or somebody like that, to even get into the playoffs. So they get into the playoffs. They have to go on the road to play the number 1 ranked team in the state. It is Carver Columbus, undefeated. Yep. They absolutely shut Isaiah Crowell down and walked out of there with a win. That was the only time I saw Crowell play. Well, except when he was at Georgia, post puppy in the news conference thing. But anyway, so Jabari Davis out of Tucker is the other running back. The wide receivers, I don't really know. Jaden Hasselwood, Demetrius Robertson. Tight end, Eric Gilbert out of Marietta. And then the offensive linemen, I mean, Mitch Hyatt, I'm well aware of, North Gwinnett, just down the road. Jamari Salyer, I think played at Georgia, maybe not, and went to Pace Academy. And then you've got a name we should all be very familiar with on defense, Robert Kimdichie.
Oh, yeah.
Out of Grayson.
Yeah.
But really, none of the other names on defense, with the exception of Sammy Brown and Travis Hunter out of Collins Hill, do I recognize. The athlete of the last century, the last 26 years, as it were, Mecole Hardman, as he should be. That's out of Elbert County. But yeah, that's, I just expected, I think, to be, and again, I was starting in 2002, I was in sports media here in this state. I would expect to recognize a few more of these names.
What's forgive me for not remembering his name. What's the tight end from Rabin?
Charlie Warner.
I mean,
where is he?
Yeah.
Well, and I get but I also think where is the quarterback who's now the quarterback at Georgia, and he broke passing records after passing records. What is his name? Oh my gosh! I am disappointed. Shut up! I should know it though. Oh, I'm disappointing. I'm a walking disappointment.
It's okay. John Lilly's out there yelling at us right now.
So,
for multiple reasons.
I'm about to hear it for so many reasons that I can't remember his name. But anyway, I get Trevor Lawrence being the quarterback, if for no other reason than I think he's the only quarterback that won multiple state titles.
Yeah.
And obviously in the NFL now, and but not that should matter. But anyway, whole point being, I was a little shocked to not recognize more.
It's crazy, isn't it?
More names. Derek Brown from Lanier was one of the best defensive linemen I've ever seen play high school football. I'm a
little disappointed there's not a Gainesville person on there. I mean,
and AJ Johnson.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe it's a stats based thing. But again, if it's a stats based thing, Deshaun was pretty darn good.
Well, I mean, the only person to break his record was Trevor Lawrence. So
right.
I mean, I get Trevor Lawrence being number one. Maybe Deshaun should have been number two. If you're basing it off of stats.
I don't know. I was just going through the list, disappointed as always. I want a Gainesville kid on every list, regardless,
as there should be.
But just a little disappointed that I didn't recognize more of the people.
Yeah,
and I'm going to continue talking until I remember the quarterback at Georgia's names, because I am sitting in a puddle of shame right now.
But I would sit here and argue that Travis Hunter probably should have been over Mecole Hardman.
As the athlete, because two-way, yep.
I mean, especially, again, and it's a high school thing, but he played both ways in high school
he
too.
Did.
So
and was very, very good.
Yeah, fun to watch.
So anyway, that was just a little side note of interest as we segue from football into what else is going on in the world of Gainesville athletics. Volleyball has been struggling. We teased that Christina LeCurve, our volleyball coach, was going to be on this week. For myriad of reasons, she declined this particular week. It's been a heavy start to the school year for her, both for personal reasons and for professional reasons. But volleyball is going to turn. You talk about learning lessons; those girls are learning some right now.
Well, they've started off, I think, with the tougher regions played. The tougher region opponents.
Alpharetta,
who's perennial state champion. They just churn them out over there. It may be the only thing that Alpharetta does well. Yes.
We're gonna throw shade where we can throw shade. People.
Can. When I can,
that's what we're gonna do.
And then Milton. They kind of churn them out too. They're not as they don't make deep playoff runs, but they're always really, really good.
Yeah.
They've got their volleyball team is really, really good. So got to watch them, play the other night. And they walk in and, me and a couple of the coaches were talking about, man, I looked every single one of those girls in the eye.
Yeah.
They were all like 5'11", 6 foot, 6'1". They had the physical piece that you can't teach.
Right.
So certainly a tough start to region play, but we'll get into some of the more manageable ones. Lanier, Chattahoochee, those will make us feel a little bit better and give us more of an opportunity to get involved in the region stuff.
Again, by the time you all are listening to this, volleyball will have played 2 more matches. They've got Dawson County and Decula as part of Teacher Appreciation Night on Thursday night, with softball going over to East Hall as well. So Friday there could be a whole different feeling for Coach LeCurve, and she is always somebody that comes in with a very, very positive attitude, and a forward thinking demeanor. But even the best of us get a little frustrated. And again, because of personal she's been out. She hadn't been able to be around as much as she wanted to be, and all those things have kind of combined. But upward trajectory, as always. At least if you talk to her, if you walk by her at any point, she's just a shining light, continuing to be that. And no doubt, volleyball is gonna get back on the right track. And I love it when I segue effortlessly. Well, when either one of us does, and don't realize it, and so I can't form the rest of the sentence around the segue. But now to track and field, or excuse me, cross country.
Yeah.
But this past weekend, both of our teams competed against 16 other teams in the, I think it's 2 mile stage races that were at East Jackson.
Yep.
Both of them came in second. Once again, Isabel Lee came in second. We're going to get her.
We're going to have to go have a motivational speech with those guys and let them know what our thoughts are on second place.
Second place, yeah.
But real quickly, have you ever been over to that East Jackson course?
No.
I have.
Really?
It runs around a prison. If you can't run fast there...
Where can you run
I don't
fast?
know what to tell you. Yeah.
Okay, so next time, here's what we're gonna do. That's gonna be the prisoners' recreation time, and maybe
we're letting them loose.
We're letting them loose.
You don't want to be
go,
last.
Isabel. Go, Isabel. Anyway, there's a freshman standout though, and right now, of course, his name is going out of my head, but a freshman standout for our cross country team, and for the second straight week. His first 2 varsity races for Coach Corbett, he was in the top 5. This week he finished second, and both teams finished second, which I know is heartening for Coach Corbett. He's got a great 2 squads. They're young, so things are only going to get better, and they're already pretty good.
I got to say, first of all, you are usually on top of names.
I know.
I'm really bad with names, and I count on you.
I know.
I count on you to know everybody's names. So that you're right now, you're 0 for 3.
I mean,
I haven't figured out what the third one is, but it's going to come up.
I'll make it up during softball. I'll make it up during our chat with Brad Prestridge.
Look, you do. You do. I don't argue that one. You are impressive when it comes to softball.
Well, listen, this has been a tough week. This has been a tough week. For a couple of reasons unrelated to Gainesville High School athletics. So in so much as we like to pull the curtain back on what's happening in the Big Red athletic department, we also like to pull the curtain back on who Adam and I are as human beings. The loss of Dolly Parton hit me hard, man.
Yes.
It hit me hard.
It was funny to me how that blew up. It clearly hit a lot of people hard. Because it was all over the place, just like that.
Well, you think about how rare it is nowadays that someone is universally loved.
Correct.
And she was universally loved. Boy, you talk about a pure soul and heart. In order to be universally loved, it's got to be there. And it doesn't matter what your religious background, your political background, what area of the country, what area of the world you grew up in, universally loved. But more to the point, as we get older, we get more and more nostalgic. And when you combine my sentimentality in with the nature of, nostalgia that hits when you get to a certain age, the passing of somebody like Dolly Parton, who you literally grow up watching and listening to, the idea of mortality that floats in as a result of that, it just makes it, you hit a little hard. And God, I listen to everything. I will never, ever watch Still Magnolias again in my life, although it is one of my favorite movies. I cannot handle it emotionally. But, from everything from 9 to 5, all her guest appearances at SNL, all this kind of stuff.
I was going to say, I think I probably shouldn't admit this, but the earliest memory of watching a movie I can think of was 9 to 5. And I remember, I would always remember, Dolly for that.
Yeah, but probably for different reasons than me.
That's
probably for different reasons than me. We're not going to get into it
on
this family-friendly-esque podcast. Probably for different reasons than me. But, and then, as I got older and really began to understand her songwriting and how brilliant she actually was musically, you gain a different appreciation. Oh, my God, she's so funny.
Yes.
The best thing ever, and people have said it all the time, is somebody said to her, do you get offended when people make blonde jokes about you? And she said, well, no, I don't get offended. For one, I'm not blonde, because you see all this makeup and all this stuff. And, a lifelong love she had with Carl, her husband, just salt of the earth.
I saw something. There's been a ton of stuff going out about Dolly Parton these days, and tons of little snippets of interviews. And I saw this one the other day, and somebody asked her how long it takes her to do her hair. She says, I have no idea. I'm sure it takes them a long time. All I do is put it on. Yeah. So the joke was, do you get upset when people make dumb blonde jokes about you? And she said, why would I get upset? For one, I'm not dumb, and for two, I'm not blonde. She just, it was quick. She was quick, but
Favorite Dolly Parton song? Go.
9 to 5.
9 to 5.
That's a low hanging fruit. I'm not good with names.
I know you're not. My favorite is one that's a little unheralded.
Okay.
It's called Two Doors Down.
I'm sure I would recognize it.
So it's just a song about a party happening 2 doors down while you're like alone in your apartment going, I should go 2 doors down to that party while they're laughing and drinking and having a
there you go
2 doors down. It's a great song.
I'm sure I'd recognize it, but the name means nothing to me.
Yeah, you probably would. But anyway, Dolly Parton hit hard. And then in the wake of her passing, Tim Curry passes away. Not somebody I knew as well, but I loved him in the movie Clue. Him as the butler in Clue was great to me. You, on the other hand, Tim Curry fan.
I got to be honest. I don't know that I ever saw Clue.
You should see it. It's funny.
I remember him from a couple of other things. Obviously, he was in Three Musketeers.
Yeah.
Which is, again, another I don't know. I won't say childhood movie, but I was younger. The other thing, and I think this is what he's most, at least he's what I most remember him for, Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah, so that is the thing that he is most, because it launched him.
Yeah.
And he's been in so much after that, but that absolutely
Correct.
Launched him. And for those of you who don't know, you might be a little surprised that Adam brought out Rocky Horror Picture Show. Adam is musically inclined, my friends.
Oh,
Absolutely musically. No, you are. Don't shy away.
I'm not arguing with you.
I mean, you don't tinkle on the ivories like I do, but
no, but he does.
Musically inclined. A little insight into you, Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Well, yeah, I mean, but I I remember being probably in high school and going to see Rocky Horror Picture Show, and then when he showed up, I think. I saw him in like Three Musketeers. I was like, wait a minute. That's the same guy.
How is that the same guy? He was also in Home Alone too.
Yeah.
When they went to New York, and he was the butler in that too.
He was the guy that could show up in just a ton of movies and not have like a lead role, but he was there.
And he would steal whatever.
Correct. Yes.
Absolutely steal a scene.
Yep.
I wouldn't put Tim Curry on the same icon level as a Dolly Parton.
No.
But, two icons that people loved in different, very different phases.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned, I mentioned Clue, a board game movie, and you're like Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yep.
Two very different, genres and whatnot. And
what happened with Tim Curry?
I don't know. He was also 80 though, like Dolly Parton.
I had no idea.
But what's funny now
people you don't see, they don't age.
Oh, no, I know. In the aftermath of this, people are like, okay, where's Julie Andrews? Are we bubble wrapping Glenn Close? Get in the house. What a week.
We'll report on the 3rd next week.
What's the, yeah. That's not funny. Oh.
Well, I mean, it's
the third, it's Adam's fault, just so you know. I'll send the family an email. All right. Listen, we're going to take a quick break. On the other side of it, GHS softball coach Brad Prestridge. Talk to you then.
Winning on and off the field takes a solid game plan, and JT Stratford Wealth Management is here to help you plan with confidence. Proudly serving Gainesville for 30 years, JT Stratford combines customized financial and tax planning with 3 decades of commitment to our community to help individuals and families pursue their goals with confidence. Build your financial playbook with a team that's invested in your future and in the community we proudly call home. Visit jtstratford.com to learn more.
Located at 311 Green Street in downtown Gainesville, JT Stratford is a proud sponsor of the Red Elephants and Behind the G. Big Red softball currently sitting at 4-2 overall in the midst of a winning streak. They hope to run from 3-4 tonight at East Hall. Of course, we are recording this on Thursday. Over the course of their last 3 wins, our Red Elephants have outscored Central Gwinnett, Clark Central, and Cedar Shoals 54-15, while mercy ruling each opponent. Do y'all find it disrespectful for me to constantly say that we run rule or mercy rule people?
Well, I mean,
or to not constantly say, to point that out? Is that disrespectful?
Well, I mean, it happens to us.
Yes.
I mean,
okay.
So, I mean, what goes around comes around.
People aren't afraid to let everybody know when they spank us. So,
I just wanted to make sure. I mean, listen, I already put it out there several times
on
social media and now on Behind the G, but better to ask forgiveness,
but
right?
I mean, I think it's also, what you're trying to do is point out that there was a run differential.
That's correct. That's correct. This is a good use of the word differential.
I know.
You brought your smart pants tonight.
I wrote
That's what I'm talking about. Joining behind the G now to talk about his team's latest surge is Brad Prestridge, of course, our girls golf coach as well. And while we have you here, we might go on back to last season and preview a little bit of this season too. But right now we're going to focus in on softball. Had a bit of a rough start to the season, Coach, but it's very evident in watching you play. Not you, but your girls play. Wouldn't that be something?
Too, yeah.
He and Mike Ledford get out there and start running around the bases. They have a certain faith in each other. There's something joyful about this team that you hadn't really seen in years past. Connectivity. We use that word a lot on this show when we're talking about teams winning or even just having special moments. And right now you're in the midst of a special moment because of that connectivity.
Yeah, we lost two of our starters last year at graduation. Our starting catcher and leading offensive producer moved. So we've had to shuffle some people around. And our starting center fielder is now a starting catcher. Mm-hmm. And that's the first two losses that we had. We were still trying to figure out where we needed to have people. The last few games, we have shuffled them around and have gotten them into the same spots the last 3 ball games, and they're buying into it, and that's the biggest thing. They're not pouting because they're not in this place that they want to be. They have taken on the role as a good teammate would, and they have gone ahead and adjusted and have done very well. Leanna Promise is now catching, who was in center field, and she has made some great plays, behind the plate the last couple of ball games, and that kind of stuff just feeds over to everybody else. Just her, just her attitude about the change, and these girls really do look after each other, and they do play for each other, which is very nice.
Yeah, I want to stick with Lay, and here's why. There was such a difference between your first home game when she wasn't catching and the next home game when she was, and not just from like a passed ball standpoint, from a communication standpoint. She takes off her mask, she talks to her teammates. Yeah. Now she has also saved some runs by being able to snag a few of Maya's errant throws. Maya Silva, by the way, our pitcher, one of our pitchers, but. She made a play that really we hadn't seen a girls softball player make in quite some time. Maybe going back to the days of Bella Folger. She made a diving catch against Clark Central the other night that not only brought all of us to our feet, but her teammates appreciated that play. Right. And for me, that was seeing her make that play is one thing. Wow, right? Yeah. But seeing the girls react to her in a manner in which they were so dialed into the game and realized how important that was in that moment. And, it's little. Most people would overlook it. But for them to be that dialed in and celebrate that play the way they did, understanding the importance in that moment in the game, kind of showed a connection. I'm using that word again, a connection to the time, the space, the score, the inning, that really I ain't seen in a couple years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was a big play. There was a little foul ball, a batter before that she didn't go after.
Yeah.
And she came back to the dugout after she made that play, and she's like, "Yeah." She said, "I was so mad at myself for not trying to get that first one."
Right.
So it was like I said, we've been trying to get the girls to buy into the all-out effort to make plays. For infielders just to dive and stop a ball that might keep somebody from going an extra base or run from scoring, and just things like that. And when one of them will do it, then the others hopefully will feed into it and also give that type of effort when it's called for.
Yeah.
Coach, you talked about earlier about how you've used first couple of games to kind of figure out your lineup. Talk about how important, I guess, the middle, you catcher, pitcher, at center field, and what you have to go through to kind of figure out who's going to play that.
Well, like I said, at the beginning of the year, once we realized that our catcher wasn't going to be with us this year, we found the ones that have played catcher before, and we've tried some girls out at practice and in games, and I think Lele had actually caught for us a couple of times last year because of injury and our catcher not being there. So we knew she could do it, but we also know how important she was out in center field. Controlling the gaps and getting the balls and making plays out there. And so, with Juju at shortstop, that helps out. She's improved immensely from her first year as a shortstop. Her freshman year, she's a third baseman. Last year we needed a shortstop because of graduation from the years before, and she stepped up, and she plays travel ball, and I really don't know what position she plays in travel ball, but her footwork and her glove work has gotten a lot better since last year. And so that helps out a lot. But when you've got the three up the middle that can understand the game, know the game, they can control it and let people know what to do, where to go, and talk to each other. It makes it where I don't have to do as much yelling.
Even though he still finds his moment, folks. Believe me, he finds his moments. So something you said, and I don't think that our listening audience realizes the difficulties that lie in not knowing who you're going to have year to year. And a freshman last year that was big for us. Decided to go somewhere else. Yep. Her family decided to go somewhere else.
Right.
I'm not putting it on a 14-year-old. Family decided to go somewhere else. Can't begrudge them, obviously. But when you're relying on that for the entirety of an off season, and then in a snap it's gone. People don't get in a sport like softball that changes sort of that changes everything. Yeah. And you having to move parts, but even. The potential of a team changes
especially when it's your catcher. I mean, you've got to have somebody there that, is willing to put on all that equipment in this heat,
right?
And then, be able to block and throw out runners and just help prevent things from happening.
Yeah,
and understand the game and know the game, and so. But like I said, Lele's been playing it for a couple of years, and has gotten a lot better. She was a great center fielder last year. She made a diving catch last year at Tallulah Falls. Yeah, which she still reminds me of.
Good for her.
And now she's got this one.
She's got this one. That's right.
So it is. I mean, like I said, with the adjusting and moving people around, and we're still trying to figure out a couple of spots. Just because we do have two freshmen starting this year. We've got our outfield is different from last year.
Right.
With now our left fielders, now our center fielder, and we've got a new left fielder, a new right fielder, and a new second baseman.
Yeah.
Along with a new catcher, a new third baseman. So, because of just having to adjust and move people and all, and just trying to get them to settle in and get used to their spots and what they're supposed to do, during the ball game.
And hear me when I say, not trying to make excuses in any way. But if we and those out there listening and the high school athletic community by and large are going to talk ad nauseum about the kids that move in, it's important to know how we're affected by the kids that move out too, because they do that as well. It does affect. Now, who it has not affected are your seniors. And those three, Kamila Jackson, Janae Garrett, Maya Silva, has been stalwarts in the program since they were freshmen. Maya, a starting pitcher since she was a freshman. Yep. Kamila and Janae have kind of worked their way in wherever they're needed. Janae right now, a starting first baseman. Right. But talk about those three, their leadership, and how important it is to you right now.
Yeah, Janae and Maya have been with us since their freshman year.
Yeah.
Kamaya, this is her third year playing, I believe it is. And she came in, had never played before. She was willing to try to catch, and we appreciate the heck out of it. She didn't do a bad job, but we just needed to make some adjustments to make us a stronger defensive team.
Yeah.
She plays outfield for us. She's a courtesy runner whenever I need her to be. So she does a great job in her role. But Janae has definitely, all out effort. She's diving for balls, and like I said, her leadership, on the field and in the locker room is great. Maya's kind of quiet.
Yeah.
To be a pitcher, she's quiet. I mean, like I told her, and I've asked her, how have you not just turned around and gone off on your defense when they keep making errors? I mean, how do you not do it?
Does she even have that in her?
I don't know. That's just it. I don't know if she's got that dog in her to do that. But she is. She's. I say she's a quiet leader, but she doesn't get in anybody's face. But she would tell them, hey, you missed practice yesterday, get your running in for
Right,
missing.
right.
She's not scared to do that. But so, their leadership and, just, I think after the first couple of games, the girls had a meeting out in the outfield, and, Maya was very upset with the effort that was given to the girls, and she let them know that. And as a senior, I appreciate that because Mike and I and Candace can all get onto them and tell them how we used to do stuff back in the 80s and, those times. But, it's
the good old days.
The good old days when, it's always better when you're, you can't be out there playing for yourself.
Yeah.
If you're not playing for your teammates, then you're missing out on the whole concept of the team sport.
Absolutely. And, I think that's something about Maya. You watch her play, and it's not that she's overpowering in any regard, including her persona. It is that she is, she can hold others accountable because she's never missed.
Right.
She is you can rely on Maya Silva.
Yeah.
And she's always going to be the exact same person. And, what I love about what you just said is, and it's something that I mentioned to the girls I was able to talk to the last few days, aggressively pulling them into my office to laud over them.
Yes.
But it's something I said to each one of them was, that the final score is one thing, but what has been so fun about watching you all play the last couple of weeks is the little things that led to the big thing. You all, the way you spoke to each other, the way you celebrated each other, the way that you, encouraged each other towards an effort that led to a big win. And so hearing that, Maya held her teammates to task to begin with, is what has led to this 3-game winning streak. That might be the most important thing somebody can do. So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. We, like I said, we, try to let the seniors control what they can control.
Right.
And like I said, we're just trying to build consistency. And it all starts at practice, and laziness at practice turns into laziness in the games, and that's what they've done a good job of holding people accountable. And Juju does the same thing.
Absolutely,
Maya and Juju probably are the two of our leaders. Juju's probably a little more vocal and all being the shortstop and all, and that's fine. And then, like I said, Kamaya and Janae are not scared to throw in their 2 cents as seniors and the ones that have been in the program the longest, especially with the younger girls, on how we're going to do things. And so, like I said, it's just a great buy-in for the rest of the team.
So, Coach, you've got just a couple more non-region matchups before you head into region play. What is it that you're looking to take out of non-region play into the region play to put us in the right place?
A lot of confidence at the plate. We've got to be confident. We've got to know that we can hit their pitching is one of the biggest things. The other day when we played Clark Central here, I tried to schedule games that, it wasn't going to be a one-sided, win one or the other. And, when we went down to their place, they ruled us, 13-1. And we didn't play very good.
Yeah.
And that was one of the good conversations that we all had about it and the things that went wrong. And, that's when we the next ball game we swapped catchers and started moving people around in different spots just to see what's going to work.
Yeah.
And that game against them where we got up on them 9-2. They came back and punched us in the mouth with 5 runs in an inning, and I was waiting to see how we were going to react. Are we gonna come back out punching and fighting again, or are we going to say, oh my God, here we go again, and just lay down and have that snowball effect? And the girls did a great job of coming back out and fighting and not giving up. But those are the types of games that I wanted to find out how competitive we can be and to not give up and to, play good ball teams and play with them, win or lose. If we play good and do all we can, I'm okay with getting beat by teams that are better than us. I mean, going in on paper, we probably already know who the better team is on paper.
Yeah.
But let's go in and play good and not have the errors and the blow-up innings where we just shoot ourselves in the foot. We might end up getting run ruled in 5 innings by 8 against a Milton or a Roswell or whatever, and I'm okay with that. You go in, you play your best. You don't get your hits when you need them, and you don't have any errors, that kind of stuff. I can. We don't walk 14 people like we did in our first game of the year. Then we'll be okay.
Yeah.
It becomes more about, can we start decreasing the number of errors?
Absolutely.
Than worrying about the point differential.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think there's something to be said for, you can't score if you never get on base.
Yeah.
And my gracious, if we have anything, it's some speed.
Yeah, we've got a little bit
and
of that.
like just a simple, you've got two draggers in your 1 and 2 holes, and Maya and Nashaya Barnett, or excuse me, Leanna and Nashaya Barnett.
Right.
Them getting on base sets the tone.
Right.
Then you've got a Juju coming up in the 3 hole who's used to hitting against pitching like you're going to see in region,
Exactly.
because she plays travel ball.
Right.
And so there, now you got to, you give yourself an opportunity if you can just get on base. And I think that's something, not necessarily an aggressiveness at the plate, but the right mentality at the plate has been obvious these last couple weeks with your girls.
Yeah, like I said, with us hitting and all, Juju hit her second home run of the year against Cedar the other day.
Yeah.
Which was great to see her excitement and her having that confidence to go to play, to know that she can.
Right.
And it is. The biggest thing with us is, you've got a bat in your hand. Mm-hmm. You got 3 chances to hit that ball.
Right.
Quit watching the ball go by you.
Yeah, no doubt.
Get to that 2-strike approach when you've got 2 strikes, and if it's close, foul it off.
Do something.
Do something. Don't just stand there and then shake your head when the umpire calls you out on the third strike.
Well, I was behind the 8 ball anyway, so I just figured I'd stand there.
We had those same conversations with Coach Brown a couple years ago.
100%.
About, watching balls go by. You never hit a ball you don't swing at.
Right.
Absolutely.
And there's something to be said for, listen, Jalea Davenport, her sweet little soul, one of your freshmen that starts.
Yeah.
She's number 7, second baseman, for those of you who come out to watch Big Red play. But Jalea Davenport hits a dribbler, and that's putting it. Well, she hit a dribbler, and that might be overstating it. And it ended up being an inside the park grand slam. And my point is not to say the other team was horrible and made too many errors. My point in that is saying, if you just put the ball in play, you never know what happens.
Exactly.
But unless you have the mentality of, no, I need to try to put this ball in play, not get a hit, not hit a home run, not try to place it right field, left field, just put it in play. You have no idea. And Julia Davenport's a perfect example. That little girl going around those bases.
That's one of those,
I love it.
One of those speed things you were talking about.
That's right. One of those speed things. Coach, so got East Hall coming up. As I mentioned, we're recording this on Thursday. East Hall coming up tonight. Chance to run that winning streak to 4. Senior night will be September 28th against Tallulah Falls. So if you don't get out to a game before then, make sure that you get out to that game to celebrate those 3 seniors that we have mentioned over the course of our conversation. There was something I was going to ask, and it completely left my mind because I would not shut up.
Did you hate it when that happens?
Just kept rambling, and now the thought completely gone.
It's a complete cliffhanger.
Oh, this is what it was.
Okay.
Here we go. I got it. I'm real good at not letting Adam talk. So,
well, look, I'm going to give you a ton of credit. You were at every home softball game, and you have the batting order memorized.
I do.
You do the
do.
announcing, so you got an advantage on that. I'm totally impressed.
Listen, but it all goes back to, and I mean no disrespect when I say this. Actually, I mean the most respect I can possibly give. When I tell you it's fun to watch you play, like, that ain't got anything to do with a final score.
Yeah.
And being fun and watching these girls and it being fun to watch them effort towards whatever the end result is, like, to me, that's the goal. That's the, and so, that is the highest compliment. At least I can give. Now, listen, go Big Red. We don't just want to win. We want to embarrass you. Let me be very clear about where we're all trending towards and the trajectory we're hoping for. But in the meantime, man, watching these girls has been fun. What's also been fun, and this is why I mentioned senior night coming up the 28th, the crowd. Boy, the crowd you've had. They were in it. And we want to keep that up for these girls because it gives them the energy to effort towards, right? So we appreciate everybody who's been showing up. We want you to continue to do it. Coach, if you can, just tell the folks out there listening, what it would mean for them to show up to a softball game this year and what you want them to see when they come.
It's one, like I said, I want you to see the girls having fun and being good teammates.
Yeah.
Having a good attitude with everything that they do. After I win the other day against Clark, there were two little girls came running on the field, and I wasn't sure who they belonged to.
Yeah.
But it was two girls that were new to Gainesville City Schools that came to our summer camp this year, the Eberhart girls. And they came running up there to give me a high five.
I love it.
And the dad standing over there at the fence and talking to me and all excited about it. And that's what we want. You know, it was great to see, the kids that came to our camp, coming and showing up to see the girls that work with them at the camp.
That's so cool.
And all. So, that was just great. But, when parents show up and other athletic teams that, I think we're really good at trying to get our other athletic teams to come and support each other with, get them in the ball game and stuff like that. And I think that's a great thing for everybody to, know that, these girls are the softball girls, they're walking around the school and talk about what they did. And I had a kid stop me in the hallway talking about, Brianna's hit she had the other day. When he was up there watching her, she had a double and was talking about it. And
that was a rope too.
Right,
yeah.
And that's fun for me, for kids that don't have siblings out there playing that, came to the game anyway and watched and saw them. So it's always great to have fan support and parental support as well. So it's great to have anybody and everybody out there.
Absolutely. Building community one hit at a time. That's what we're doing here at Gainesville High School. Coach, as I've mentioned ad nauseum, love what you're doing. Love watching your girls play and can't wait to see what the next few weeks hold and the confidence that's built as you do head into region play. We appreciate you so much. Appreciate what you're doing with our student athletes, and thanks for being on Behind the G.
Thank you.
Looking for the ultimate game day grub? Johnny's New York style pizza has you covered. From fresh hand-tossed pies and from-scratch pasta dishes to wings and loaded calzones, Johnny's brings championship flavor with every single bite. Grab a victory meal after the game at their Gainesville location on Jesse Jewell Parkway or order for takeout to feed the whole family at johnnyspizza.com. Johnny's, the official pizza of Behind the G and Red Elephants everywhere. I'm going to be a little punny coming out of Coach Prestridge here because I really feel like this show, for the first time during season 2, we've covered all our bases.
Oh my goodness!
See what I did there?
I did see. Yeah,
we had a little pop culture. Mm-hmm. We had a little behind the scenes of GHS athletics.
And I got to say, every time you say pull back the curtains, I do look around and say we don't have any curtains.
We need
in here.
curtains.
Well, maybe we do. We can't see the kids TikToking outside the window.
I know.
If we don't have
but
curtains.
I also feel like when we get into our new setup. Tease.
Yeah.
When we get into our new setup, maybe that should be the thing is we come out from behind.
There you go.
Oh, that'd be so lame.
I know.
Oh man, that'd be so lame. Hey, speaking of our new setup, coming up, and we don't really know when it's going to happen because we are waiting on furniture to be delivered. But Behind the G is going to have its own studio, and with that own studio is going to come a fresh new look at the show, and I mean that literally. We will, just like we did on the Gainesville Day of Giving this past spring, have cameras set up. We'll have a whole production set up, and we'll be able to do better teases on social media, but also be able to bring you a better product and a better view behind the curtain, as it were, because you'll actually get to see us. See
me, which is always a better view.
Which is always I just spit everywhere. That's how disgusted I was by what he just said. But, little things like getting to see that the laughs aren't like contrived, that we really are.
They're not canned. We don't have a button.
We don't have a button.
Maybe we should get a button.
Listen, if some of our, if any of our coaches are boring, that might be exactly what we need. Yeah. Just a button to let's just go ahead and end this interview with this but yeah, we appreciate you being with us as always on Behind the G. Next week, our first student athletes of the month will be on with us, boy and girl. We'll have student athletes on the month on with us. So your first opportunity to hear from some of our student athletes. We will also preview the East St. Louis Gainesville football game. We're going to have Nate Mathis, our logistics man, on with us to talk about obviously what all led it up to them actually getting to East St. Louis and getting to play. Santavius will join us, and hopefully, my fingers are crossed, things go well enough that LaCurve's able to be on. I mean, listen, she's the one people want to hear from. Not us.
That's a true statement. Well, I'm surprised you can't hear her from outside.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Where were we? We had a meeting early Monday morning. Adam loves his early Monday morning meetings.
It's a thing.
It is a thing. It's a thing for him. None of us speak to each other for the first 15 minutes. But
Well, I figure I'm here. Why shouldn't everybody else?
I mean, you're true statement. But I go walking upstairs with my usual sunshiny personality on a Monday morning.
Yeah, just picture it, guys.
Sitting in the room in which we were going to meet were Jan Azar and Ty Barrett, who I cannot believe Coach Azar beat any of us anywhere in the morning.
She was the first one here.
I totally believe Ty Barrett, our new boys golf coach, was sitting in the room because he actually is a walking sunshine and rainbow. But I come walking in. They said, "Hey, KDB." I think I may have grunted. I may have grunted.
It's kind of your thing.
I grunted a little bit at them. I did not make eye contact. I'm pretty sure they would have turned to stone had I made eye contact. I sit down away from everyone so no one speaks to me. And all of a sudden, from downstairs, we're on the second floor of the Student Activity Center. From downstairs, I hear Christina LeCurve arrive for
Where are we meeting?
What are we doing? Top of the morning to you.
Yeah.
Just, and you can't help but laugh. I mean, and so, ended up brightening my day, even though she gave me a dirty scowl when she walked in the room, too. So that's all we got for you. This has been an absolute pleasure bringing you Behind the G this week. We'll talk to you next week. In the meantime, in between time, make sure you're following us on social media. Make sure you're going to that website to get all the latest in things big and red. We'll talk to you next week, folks.